Like many of you, I'm on the constant quest for the best acoustic tone, so let's talk about some ways to get there. Stick around. How's it going, y'all? My name is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and if you're interested, click the link below and become an insider. So like I said, I'm on the constant quest, best acoustic live tone. Most of my playing is done in solo acoustic settings around town, different venues. And there is, one constant, which is that I trust my guitar. But at a lot of places, you don't trust the PA. You don't know what you're getting into. Sometimes it's a nicer system and you got somebody running sound for you. Sometimes you got to do it all yourself. So there's a lot of variation, and you want to have as much control in your hands of your acoustic tone, obviously. So a couple things before we jump into these guys over here. This video started kind of, as a preface, as our thoughts on the best effects for acoustic guitar and for using live and all that kind of stuff. Most of the time, you're probably not running any effects at all, but little things like reverb, chorus can be pretty nice. I think probably the most useful effect pedal to have in a live setting would be a looper. I've talked about that in a previous video, but most of the time, you're wanting something that can control EQ, take feedback away, just really hone in the best acoustic tone. And most of you probably know that that's never going to sound as good as just a nice microphone on your acoustic guitar, mic'd up properly, maybe a nice condenser mic to get all the rich harmonics and resonance. So, you're not going to be bringing an extra mic stand and phantom power and all kinds of stuff to your gig. There are some cool ways to kind of capture the best possible acoustic tone from Boss and from a lot of different manufacturers through the use of an acoustic guitar preamp. Now, I'm using over here and going to be talking about a couple options from Boss, like I said, the AD-2 and its kind of big brother, the AD-10. I'll talk about the AD-2 first. It's, classic Boss enclosure, built like a tank, really nice little thing that you can throw probably in your guitar case, with 3 very useful effects, and not even as much effects, just sound shaping kind of tools. So you can run your acoustic guitar through here, and basically what you're working with is an ambience or ambiance knob, which adds a little nice reverb, just fills out, makes it not as sound like a lot of times with acoustic guitar pickups, unless you're using something a little higher end. I really like the Fishman that I have in my guitar. A lot of people love LR bags, but sometimes you're using something that's your road guitar. It doesn't have like your favorite sounding pickup. Maybe it's got a little 3-band EQ, maybe it doesn't. So really to make sure that you're getting the right tone and a little get rid of that kind of snappy, too quacky acoustic guitar running direct sound, add a little ambient reverb, just, fill out the room a little bit. Your notch control right in the middle is a way to counteract feedback. So you've probably been jamming, you might hit a certain chord, and the proximity effect on the stage sends your guitar shaking. There's a giant, horrible sound. People in the crowd hate you from that moment on because that's your fault. Most of the time it's not your fault. Talk to your sound guy or do a good sound check beforehand, comprehensive sound check. But if you're finding that, kind of bad, really like terrible feedback sound, you can mess with this notch control and find that frequency and notch it out and just kind of take away that frequency, take away the feedback. Really useful control. And the acoustic resonance knob is kind of the most elusive concept here, but the goal is to kind of get some of that rich, woody tone that you get from an acoustically mic'd guitar, playing unplugged. You get all of that stuff from a microphone. You get the more complex kind of, front of the sound hole. A lot of times In a studio setting, you'll have something right at the 12th fret. You might have an over-the-shoulder mic. You might have a couple room mics. So the resonance really helps you bring back some of the natural tone, which is really cool. So that's the AD-2. The Big Brother has all of that and more, which is a nice way to kind of bring back the effects conversation. So you got your EQ up top, so you can really tailor your sound. Maybe you've got a Taylor and you don't love that ES2 pickup. Tailor your Taylor tone with the AD-10. That's a Chris McKee joke because he's not here this week, so I had to, add a little McKee in this one. But this one's got the same notch control. It says anti-feedback on here, but it's same thing. You're gonna notch it out, find your frequency that's hurting your ears, take care of that. Got the same resonance. Got a compressor in here, your ambient reverb kind of vibe, and then this does have delay and chorus, which are really nice effects to have. I talked about it in 90s tones. I've talked about it before. Chorus is really nice, kind of vintage inspired. Not for everything, but it sounds great on some acoustic guitar. I'm wearing my Ladies of the Canyon t-shirt today because Joni Mitchell's acoustic guitar tone, I think bar none, some of the best sounds I've ever heard. On this album, specifically the title track, I've been chasing that guitar tone. I think that there's multiple guitars. I think there might be a 12 string, but there's definitely a chorusy kind of vibe. So really cool effect to have. Nice to have some delay on there too if you want to get a little more experimental and progressive with your acoustic tone. But, so yeah, you can tap it out. Great delay on here. But a couple things that are nice to have. I mentioned that I think looping is the most valuable tool for a solo performer. This has got an 80-second looper on it. It's also got a built-in tuner. So these foot switches down here, you've also got a boost to boost your tone, boost your volume, stick out in a mix if you're playing with a band. Nice thing to have. But also, this acts as a DI as well. So you can run this preamp into a DI or just direct with a 1/4 inch if you have that capability. This is a nice DI to have, so you can basically have it all built into one. Let's talk value for a little second here. A DI, a nice DI, a looper, a chorus pedal, a delay pedal, and a tuner. That's a full board right there. It's gonna get expensive. This is pretty pricey. It's right under $400, I believe. But the 2-channel Boss looper right there, it's pretty close to $300, I believe. I haven't checked the price recently, but I know that's a very expensive pedal. And just nice chromatic tuners, delays, compressors, choruses, boost, and an EQ. I mean, just everything, and reverb. That's gonna set you back a ton of money if you're getting high quality Boss stuff all the way down. So it's really cool that they built in everything that you would maybe want effects wise for an acoustic live show into this pedal. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna run direct into our interface here, just play some dry acoustic tones, and then I'm gonna run the same acoustic guitar, play the same thing. Through here, I'm gonna dial in some sounds that I really like that I think are just nice and that I would probably use in a live setting because we're trying to chase that perfect acoustic tone and get it as natural and beautiful as possible. So take a listen and let's talk about it. there you have it, you guys. There's some acoustic preamp tones. Now, if you're like me, you make most of your gigging money or just make your living off of playing acoustic shows. After a while, you're gonna realize that, you might need some help in the tone department. I carry around a Fender Passport with me for a lot of smaller gigs, and it does sound really nice, and I think it's a great PA that I can run directly into. But there's sometimes in the right room, the wrong sounds will happen. The reverb on there might not be my favorite all the time. And I think that's a great PA for like a traveling musician, but you might be held hostage by whatever PA that you're going into. If you're playing in a place that has a lot of plug and play, you walk into a place, you want to be able to trust that you're gonna get the tone that you've specially curated with your main guitar. You want it to sound its best, you want to sound impressive, you want to sound clean and natural, and then maybe add some effects on there, be able to loop, be able to just kind of have everything in one. And a lot of times at those places, they might not have a ability to just run a 1/4 inch from your guitar. So you're gonna need a DI anyway. They might have one, they might not. I've encountered both, and it's been a real bummer when I've shown up to a place with my guitar, a looper, and a bunch of 1/4 inch cables, and they don't have a DI. And so it's nice to have XLR outs on this, be able to run directly into, say, a Snake or whatever their system is. But either way, plugging in your guitar, pickups vary in terms of their tone and their tone shapeability. You might have the Taylor style, just a volume and a treble and a bass knob. You might have a more complex preamp, but a lot of times I find those to not be up to the quality that you would want. Sometimes you want extra effects, you want everything. So pickups don't always cut it, and you're never gonna beat the tone of just a great mic on that acoustic guitar. So in order to get as close as possible, take your feedback away, add a little reverb, and just get that resonance exactly where you want it. I do think that these are very helpful. There's a lot of other options on the market as well, so make sure to do some research, find the one that's right for you. There's some very, very high-end acoustic preamps that you can find if you want to go that route. But I think these are both valued very, very properly, and they're just nice tools to have. So if you want to learn more, the AD-10 and the AD-2 from Boss, check out our website, alamomusic.com. You can chat with me and our other salesmen, and maybe Chris McKee will get on there once in a blue moon. You can email us, you can call us, and if you're in the area or just a tourist in San Antonio, come by the store and check out all the cool stuff that we've got in the store right now. And like I said, if you're interested, follow the link below and become an insider. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000. So thank you very much for helping us with that, and we'll see you next time.